Hey y'all, it's your girl Gemini Jazz with House of Chiron, and we are back with another episode of Galactic Gossip. Thank you all for your patience. I know I missed like the last week. It's just a lot going on in my life. So thank you for being here this week and getting the updates. I will briefly go over what we experienced last week and then lead into this week. But before we do that, I would like to say thank you for being here. Welcome to my channel. If you are new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you are returning, you know how we do. Welcome in. How was your week last week? All those good things, okay? So I don't have any announcements at this time. So we're just going to dive right on in to the astrological energy. But first, let's do a recap, okay, on what happened for week 2 of December. So December 5th through December 11th, we had quite a few aspects going on, nothing major as far as any transits or anything. So for the recap, first starting off with Mars making a sextile to Pluto. So that gave us a lot of focus, a lot of passion about our goals. Excuse me. This Texas allergies got me all over the place with my voice. But either way, the Mars sextile to Pluto, because Mars is in Capricorn and Pluto's, Mars is in Scorpio and Pluto's in Capricorn, that happened on December 6th into the rest of the week. It kind of lingered on for a little bit. Okay, so that gave us a lot of focus. We wanted to get things done and we were very passionate about something. And so this happening right after the eclipse energy, the Sagittarius new moon eclipse that we were coming out of, with it happening right after that, it really gave us a devotion towards those intentions that we were setting or those things that we were letting go on the eclipse. It gave us that devotion to actually seek after it, right? And also if we needed to establish boundaries or dissolve boundaries that were built on falsehood in a sense, then, we were able to do that as well. Now, we also had Mercury making a square to Neptune, so things got a bit confusing. Conversations and communication was just very clouded and lots of illusions and deceit, right? All that happened. And then we had Mars squaring Jupiter. So that helped us get some projects off the ground and initiating some new endeavors. And so we also had like this influx of energy towards the end of the week and leading into the weekend. So a lot of that is, coming up also and leading into this coming week where we're going to have a lot of transits that are kind of big and impactful. Okay. And then last but not least, we have the Venus conjunction to Pluto on the same day that Mercury is sextiling Jupiter. So Venus is going to be conjuncting Pluto or Venus conjunct Pluto on December 11th. So by the time you're probably getting this video, you'll be under that influence of the Venus conjunct Pluto, which is in Capricorn. Now, keep in mind, Venus is getting ready to station retrograde. Venus has been in Capricorn and it's going to station retrograde when it hits 26 degrees. So we got a little bit more. So next week, that's something that we'll discover or cover in the following week or so. But anywho, so that happened, and this is really that Venus conjunct Pluto brought in a lot of passion and devotion, and a lot of revelations about our values and some of those obsessive manipulative traits that we could have, even those addictions towards things. So like even if like you're addicted to food because Venus rules food, or there's been like a major transformation in your financial status in a sense, because Pluto can do that. Pluto can like really bring in a revelation that changes everything, maybe even just change your mindset about wealth, right? So that's just something else. Also change your mindset about your relationships and your values. So these things is kind of like these areas of our lives are going under this metamorphosis in a sense, and then happening on the same day that Mercury is sextiling Jupiter. This is a lot of information, a lot of influx of information, right? That sextile will give us an opportunity to travel, to socialize with our loved ones, with our friends, get a broader view of life, get a different perspective of things, be open-minded. You might get some information about an opportunity that's coming in for you, just making plans even in the future to, go on a vacation or something like that, or enroll in school, just sharing your knowledge or your wisdom. All right, now let's cover the energy for this week. All right, we're going to be covering the week ahead for December 12th all the way through December 18th. So this week, not only do we have a couple of personal planets moving from one sign to the next, we also have our full moon in Gemini that happens at the end of the week. Okay, so first and foremost, let's start off with the beginning of the week on December 12th. So on Sunday, we have the sun, which is in Sagittarius, making a square to Neptune in Pisces. And yeah, like the illusions, right? Those things. Neptune is all about creating this illusion or these rose-colored lenses in a sense. But in this case, let's kind of briefly think, dissect it. The sun is in Sagittarius, Neptune is in Pisces. Okay, so the sun is in the sign of philosophies and belief systems, and Neptune is at home in spiritual Pisces. Okay, so this is like this is a energy that can bring many blessings and many things at the same time of bringing some illusions and not so good things to navigate through. So that square between these two is going to have us more, or coming from a more softer or compassionate side, but at the same time, we could be a bit gullible or disillusioned in our beliefs, okay? Or just not really seeing things completely clearly, not even showing up in our true selves, or people not even receiving our energy and how we truly mean to like project it, right? So diving into like spiritual practices or something that is creative, it's going to be highly favored and helpful, especially in combating those deceptive energies that are present. So, just kind of like focus on the spiritual thing, try and see things from a different lens, so to speak. Now, also something that might occur is a lack of motivation. So if you feel less motivated on Sunday, it's Sunday, chill, it's fine. You deserve rest. That is something I am learning. So if you feel less motivated on this day, allow yourself that time to rest. Okay. Dive into some self-care. Self-care Sunday is a thing. You can dive into your spiritual practices, or you can do something creative that's going to stimulate your mind. Okay. Now, a critical theme that could be surfacing or floating around today is a tendency to use spirituality or religious practices as a scapegoat for actual shadow work that needs to be done, right? You need some attention in these shadowy parts of ourselves. There's nothing wrong with, we are all there are different polarities within us, right? So we have our lightness and we have our darkness, and that's all that makes us whole. And it's not about rejecting the parts that we don't like, it's about embracing them. So if you need some attention and embracing those shadow parts of yourself, please do so, because using religion or spirituality as a scapegoat to bypass what needs to actually be worked on or embraced is also known as spiritual bypassing. So you might get a sneak peek of this from people, and also there might be some psychological patterns that surface within us, or we might be seeing it in others. And this is just kind of coming up so we can face things head on. So I encourage everyone to just kind of be honest with yourself, be honest with others, speak to a therapist, seek guidance, seek help, seek someone, a trusted friend that you can speak to if you need help unpacking anything that you are experiencing. You can reach out to me, send me an email, we can schedule something, okay? So all my information can be found in that description box. Anywho, so this is something that might come up, right? A lot of things about our belief system, our consciousness, and also just the need to heal our belief systems, right? Kind of work through what is actually there for us. But at the same time, it's going to give us a very, I'm not going to say bold, but very adventurous way of exploring different realms. I would say that. So like different ideas, ideologies, different methods of healing. So if we want to get into spirituality, divination, occult work, tarot, astrology, seeking therapy, however, music therapy, art therapy, dance therapy, all of those different things. Okay. So keep that in mind. Now, also on the next day, we have Mars that is finally leaving Scorpio, right? Where it has been in its ruling sign. So Mars rules Aries and it also rules Scorpio. So now it is leaving Scorpio, where it's been devoted and passionate and just kind of asserting its will, in a sense, because it's kind of, you know, Scorpio is about power struggles. So we could have been dealing with a lot of power struggles over this time, or eliminating those power struggles that we've dealt with. But anywho, now it's moving into Sagittarius on December 13th, where it will remain for the next 6 weeks until January 24th of 2022. We are slowly wrapping up 2021. Okay, just want to throw that out there. But anywho, Mars, like I was mentioning, it rules Aries and it rules Scorpio. So Mars governs our ability to take action on things, whether it is by implementing something new or eliminating outdated things, right? Something that we no longer find value in, or something that no longer serves us, right? So Mars is the thing that takes that action. Mars is the ruler of accidents and cuts. And, you know, it's that energy that we get. It's a very active planet. It's a warrior planet. So it's what we fight for. You can look at Mars in your chart and it'll kind of tell you where you have been fighting all your life, in a sense. That's just a little tidbit there. But anywho, Mars enters into Sagittarius on this day, and it comes into a conjunction with the South Node almost immediately, as it has entered into Sagittarius. The South Node is at 1 degree in Sagittarius, and it's getting ready to, the nodes are getting ready to shift towards the end of January of 2022. They're moving from Gemini and Sagittarius to Taurus and Scorpio, so different axes. Okay, so it's going to come into this conjunction. Mars is with the South Node, where we are being guided to shed the old skin permanently. So it's essential to pay attention to the current things that are happening right now. Pay attention to those endings and those beginnings that are happening at this time, especially over these initial few weeks that Mars enters into Sagittarius. It's kind of giving us a glimpse of what's in our future and also what is to come. Because remember, as soon as we let something go, something new is always brought in or replaced with it. As soon as something dies, something is reborn. Excuse me, reborn. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. Now, things are, there's a potential for things to end rather quickly. Also, if something ends, it's final. Keep that in mind, because it's the South Node. And perhaps you might have an experience of it being like an unexpected ending to something or whatnot. So just kind of keep that in mind. Also, Sagittarius is the ruler of our beliefs. So this is a lot of that energy. We're already in Sagittarius, so we are under that energy already. And so with Sagittarius ruling our beliefs, our path, and the ability to see the overall picture of things and situations, keep that in mind, that this is going to be a focus. So seek higher ground in order for you to understand from a different or a greater or higher perspective as to why these things are happening in the ways that they are. There's always a blessing on the other side. It's all about how we decide to look at it and view it. Okay, now also on the same day, we have Mercury entering into Capricorn. So Mercury has been in Sagittarius, but we've just been speaking our truth and standing on our soapboxes, so to speak. And so Mercury is now leaving the sign of Sagittarius and entering into Capricorn on the same day that Mars leaves Scorpio and enters into Sagittarius. So we have two personal planets moving into different signs on the same day. Now, Mercury is going to be in Capricorn all the way until January 2nd of 2022. And as it enters into Capricorn, our communication style becomes much more practical and grounded. Now, while Mercury was exploring Sagittarius, we were developing this deeper understanding of our truth and looking to seek understanding in others and their truth, and also finding the ability to express that truth. Now, as we take what we have discovered, right, those discovered truths, and we're moving into Capricorn, and we're about to soon embark on Capricorn season, we can project, we can plan, and we can process certain matters in a more purposeful way, right? And in this way, it's going to promote that discipline that we need in each of us, that Capricornian discipline and determination, right? So now I have to give y'all I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but towards the end of this transit, Mercury is going to enter into its shadow phase because it's preparing for the first Mercury retrograde of 2022. Yeah, I said it. So this is happening in the sign of Aquarius and Capricorn. So Mercury enters into Aquarius, and then it's going to retrograde back into Capricorn, and then it moves forward into Aquarius thereafter. So 2022, almost immediately, do we have our first Mercury retrograde? Yeah. All right. So Mercury is going to connect with both Venus and Pluto, and this is going to be giving us the ability to kind of see things when it comes to our values. It's going to be revealing the truth of our values, our finances, relationships, those fears and those karmic debts that are surrounding these areas of our lives as well. So just kind of keep in mind that it's during the most wonderful time of the year, and it's a lot going on. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, moving on to the big energy of the week, and this is the final thing I will discuss for this week's energy. We have the full moon that illuminates at 27 degrees in the sign of Gemini on December 18th. So this is at the very end of the week. We've already had Mars and Mercury move from one sign to the next, and now we have this full moon happening at Gemini at 27 degrees. So that's a number 9. And a number 9 on the day of 9 is about something coming to an end. This is like the wrapping up or the conclusion of a cycle. And that's perfect energy for a full moon, because full moons are about harvesting. It's about taking stock of what has worked, what has culminated, and letting go what has not, right? The waste, letting it go. So think back 6 months ago during Gemini season. Think back and ask ourselves, what were we creating during that time, during Gemini season of this year? What ideas have been born or implemented since the last 6 months that are now coming to this culmination? How did that turn out? What is going on? What are we harvesting from that experience? Now, as this full moon in Gemini comes to its fullest illumination, it's going to be making a beautiful trine to Jupiter, right? Jupiter's of abundance. Anything that Jupiter touches, it can expand it, sometimes even to the point of over influx, right? So it can do too much. So just kind of keep that in mind. Also, now it's going to be making a beautiful aspect. So this is going to be the most beneficial energy of this full moon, because it's going to usher in some of that harmony that we need right now. We have so many different harsh transits, especially coming in next week. It's coming in hot next week, okay? I'll go over what the transits are once we're done, but we're going to need this harmony. So we're really being encouraged to, like I mentioned before, take stock, right? But what are we taking stock of? We're taking stock of those opportunities that are being presented to us now. That way we can move forward into 2022 with a clean slate and fresh new intentions. There's going to be a focus on our perceptions of different energies, one of which is the feminine energy, home versus public lives, and also our need to find security within our own influence, right? All those things are going to be coming up. So we have to ask ourselves another question during this time. Have we elevated our perspectives in order to gain a bigger picture of things? Have we done that over time? Have we taken that Gemini energy and created those ideas, and then also taking the time to be a student. Have we been learning, right? Gemini is a student, Sagittarius is the teacher. So what have we been learning is a really good question. Okay, now Venus is stationary at this time, right? When the full moon happens, Venus is sitting still, it's chilling in the cut because it's getting ready to go retrograde. It's getting ready to go ham on the very next day. Okay, so that's something that we will discuss in more detail next week. But that Venus retrograde period happens, I believe, like 5 hours, maybe 6 hours after the full moon. So it's not even a full day, right? Venus and Pluto are both conjunct at the time that Venus goes retrograde, and they are going to be making an in conjunction, also known as a quincunx, to this full moon, right? So the quincunx is it can be a very tricky energy to navigate. It's about something that is bringing in a sense of frustration that needs to be integrated. It's like you need to take a lesson that has been learned and apply it. So it can be a little bit like a strain that's happening. Okay, so this might actually bring up some power struggles because that Pluto energy, and also maybe some tension within our partnerships. That might be something, as well as maybe a financial crisis comes up, and that could reveal the imbalance between our self-worth and our net worth. That way we get those solutions during the Venus retrograde moment. Okay, now it's an invitation for us to tap in to our mental expansiveness, right? With Jupiter being there, and it's making that trine to this Gemini. Gemini is about, mental capacities, and it's telling us to tap in, because we all possess that ability, but also we need to pair it with the energy of the moon, right? Which is our emotional sensitivities. So use those intuitive abilities, use your psychic abilities to find your way through these really interesting times. Okay, so that is all that I have for this week. But now let's go into really briefly the energy for next week on what we will cover. So starting off the week on the day of when y'all probably will be getting this energy, I'll try and get it out early, but the week of Christmas, Venus is going to station retrograde while it's conjunct Pluto at 26 degrees, and that happens on December 19th. And then we have Mercury making a trine to Uranus, and that happens on the next day, December 20th. And then it's the winter solstice, and also the start of Capricorn season on December 21st. So all of that, not to mention, we have our final passing of this year of the Saturn square Uranus energy at 11 degrees in the sign of Aquarius and Taurus. So we're going to get another one at the very beginning parts of 2022, but this is the last exact square between these two energies. So that tension, frustration, restriction energy that we have been feeling all year long is going to come up on Christmas Eve. All right. And then on Christmas Day, we have Venus, which is retrograde, making a conjunction again to Pluto, this time at 25 degrees in the sign of Capricorn. So it's interesting, I must say. I look forward to connecting with y'all for next week. I hope y'all have a wonderful week ahead. Utilize the energies in a self-aware kind of vibe, right? Just be aware. If it's not affecting you in certain ways, then, because this is general, this is very collective energy. If you are looking to get more of an insight on how this is directly affecting you by your individual chart, guess what? My readings are open. So hit that description box, book you a reading. I have a new reader that I have hired. Her name is 7D. That's her name. And you can book with me or you can book with her. Just go on to the website. You can find it down below. Yeah. So anywho, that's all I have. I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Bye.